Welcome to Founders Fortitude, Conversations with Audrie Dollins, a podcast where we uncover the raw realities of being a founder, celebrating the brilliance of the teams, individuals, and families working tirelessly behind the scenes, and explore the fortitude, the unwavering determination it takes to navigate the twists, turns, and triumphs of entrepreneurship and life itself. Each week, we will share candid conversations, actionable insights, and inspiring stories to empower you on your journey. Whether you're building a brand, scaling a business, an online creator and influencer, or pursuing your passions with relentless drive, let's dive into the grit, grace, and growth it takes to thrive. Let's get into it. Suzy, thank you so much for joining me on Founders Fortitude and taking the time, because I know this is such a busy, special time for you. And you've just bring so much energy. And when you said that, yes, that you would come on, I was just so excited, not only for myself, but for our audience and listeners, because you bring joy wherever you go.
Thank you. I could say the same about you.
Well, and we've just been, we work in the same industry. And you've just been a cheerleader of mine, and I to you, and our team has worked with you, and then I got the blessing to work with you today. And we're doing something special today.
We are.
That will kind of come full circle and talk about this celebration, because we have all this confetti on the ground. And tell me a little bit about Empty Nest Blessed and why and how that came about. What sparked you to do this so many years ago?
Well, when I started Empty Nest Blessed 10 years ago, blogging was such the big thing. And about that time, I became an empty nester, noticed so many of my friends struggling to make that transition, often because of things that we'd set aside in our own lives while we were really focused on raising our kids, which probably means we mothered pretty well. It's a sacred calling and it's a blessing. And there are things, though, that when your nest empties, all of a sudden you just sort of look around and think, I've neglected maybe my health and wellness, maybe my marriage, relationships with my senior adult parents, maybe. Things need attention. For us, we called the painters and we redid the floors. The house needed attention. But also, it's a great time to join that gym, make those doctor appointments. And so I saw my friends really struggling with making that transition, this loss of identity now that they weren't mothering. Because, you think you raise a child from 0 to 18, but really, if you're got multiple kids, you're really in parent mode for maybe 25, 30 years. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're parenting for a long time. So it's challenging to make that transition, but you can do it. But I saw so many struggling. I felt that struggle as well. So I just decided to be brave and take people along with me and just say, I'll lead the way. You can come with me and I'll share my joys, my struggles, my challenges, and we'll just do it together.
Well, everything that you said is so impactful, and I just want to pause and say you had me at blog. If you know me, I support blogs for so many reasons. I think it tells so many stories. I say this word over and over. It's a resource, and when you are a resource, your message has longevity and impact. And I think when you blog, and not only for marketing reasons, of course, that's the industry, that's what I am in, and that's what's connected us, but you are a resource and you use your blog as a tool. Yeah. And when did you feel, because now this is a full-blown career.
Yeah.
I don't want to necessarily say the word hobby. Of course, that's kind of like in my question, but where did it go from like, okay, this is a passion project? Yeah. You have a full business that's happening here. Yeah. When did you see that change? Tell us how long you've been blogging, because this is...
Okay. Yeah, 10 years. 10 years.
It took 10 years
So it
for
took 10
overnight
years.
success, right?
10 years, definitely 10 years. I made the decision early on just to have that mindset that I would really just try to serve my followers, just to go in with a heart to just encourage, inspire, bless them, and serve them. So that was my mindset and my heart right from the beginning. So what happened was just trying to speak into the life that I was already living. It was just very easy just to be authentic and just to be real. So I started by writing things about cooking for 2 instead of cooking for 5, and how do you do it? And so I would record these little videos and everything. People would be like, well, that's great. So tell me where you got that slow cooker, and what about those earrings you're wearing? So it just evolved into what it really changed into and what it's become in some ways. The whole content creation industry and influencer industry really grew up around my blog. And I love what you said about blogs, because I always tell people my blog is like my home. So it's like I've invited you to come to my house. So if you really want to know who I am, that's where you go. Go to the blog. You'll see my colors. You'll see my face. You'll see my font that I love. Yes. And then I feel like my social media is like if I said, let's go have coffee, and we'll go meet on Instagram, or we'll go meet on Facebook, or we'll go meet on LinkedIn or something. And so the blog is really home, and it's where I feel like I can communicate the very best and really share my heart with my followers. And so I just try to do that. And the mission hasn't changed. It's still to encourage, inspire, and bless, and serve.
And we paused. We were working together today, and you were mentioning that that your passion is to serve, and I feel like I connect with you so much, because at our company, we support amazing people like you that are wanting to serve their audience and has their mission, whether that is your niche, or they want to support their family, or it's a different type of niche. We kind of mirror each other that way, because our team supports that drive. And we always say, when you win, we win. Other people's success is our success. And when you have that mission like you do, it brings such joy every day, and it gives you a reason to wake up and strive and do big and great things. And so what so far in your journey has made the largest impact along the way? What's something that you remember that has just set well with your heart? Maybe from an audience, maybe it's me that when I was like, my son went to military, he went into the military, and I was like, hi, I know you're calling for services, but my son went away. Like, we were connecting on that when we first had our FaceTime, and it was like grieving, and I could not understand it. Like, I lost a piece of my soul to the United States government.
There it is.
And I was like connecting with you on that. Has there been a lot of people like myself that have shared their stories? What is something that's impacted you?
Well, so on Empty Nest Blessed, I really try to do a mix of that content, because I do think that it is helpful for women to know how the trends translate to a 50-year-old body, or the beauty creams that work great for mature skin, or things like that. But then the content that really resonates with my followers is when I talk about the empty nest, whether it's the grief that is always I don't know if I'd say always, but most of the time, the initial reaction. And with grief, everyone grieves differently, Audrie, and some people are debilitated, and it's the Leanne Morgan I had to take to my bed.
That was me. I was
like, to the bed.
Take it to the bed. I love her. I love her.
I know.
But I think you're also right too about your blog when it comes to skincare and health and marriage, like cooking for 2. Because I think that we follow certain creators at certain seasons and where we're headed to. So I'm sitting at 42 right now, or 42 in a few days. But I'm sitting at 42, and I'm like, oh, I look at the trends under my age, current age, and above my age. To, what is she using? I'm not necessarily going to look at a young lady's skincare. I'm going to, that's younger than myself. I'm going to look at current and above. And so I think you nailed it too, because the stage that I'm going in, I'm like, okay, I can prep myself. I can be prepared. This is what works for them. And it's such wonderful wisdom that you pass on.
Well, thank you. I think what did it for me was when I saw that not only were those things really helpful to my followers in a really practical way, but really being able to connect with them as we talked about parenting adult kids, or even being a part of the sandwich generation, where many of us have senior adult, elderly parents, and we also have young kids, sometimes grandkids. So how do you handle all those relationships, wear all those hats, and making that connection? That's where I think people feel like that hopefully I've made a difference for them, and they tell me that's so meaningful, and then they stay around because they're like, oh, and we can eat potato chips and talk about fashion too.
Yes.
I'm like, yes, we're here for it.
Well, and you also talk about, and I remember this, and we discussed this too, but the holidays. Yeah. And you have married children, and I have my son's 21, has a wonderful girlfriend. She has a family. I have family all around.
Yeah.
And how we approach that with grace and understanding. Yeah. And we've talked about certain situations, and holidays is a hot topic. Yeah. And then not only could you discuss that, you can also get this great recipe and this pot I use to carry two good things. So
that's right.
It's just beholding such great resources, and you do it with such vibrance, joy, grace, and you're just fabulous.
Thank you, Audrey. Thank you. I consider it a privilege and an honor. And to me, my followers' trust in me is the greatest commodity I have. It's staying on that mission and fulfilling their trust in me. Being worthy of that trust means more than any amount of money or anything. I really got into this with a mission mindset and a heart to serve and bless and encourage, and that is still my mindset today, even though the industry around me has changed. And so SEO grew up around me. I was always after that empty nester niche and demographic, and little did I know when I started talking about empty nesters 10 years ago that I just kept going, empty nesters, empty nesters, empty nesters. And so now I'm at the top of all the search engines that I didn't even know what SEO was when I first started, but I just stayed on niche.
Yes.
And my niche is demographic rather than size or a shape or a certain vertical like beauty or fashion. We just talk about everything in the life of an empty nester.
Yes.
That keeps me engaged and excited, and I just deal with the whole woman. I think women are so fascinating and multifaceted, and that's one thing I love about being a woman, and I love about other women, my friends like you. And
look, you just make me want to jump. I just oh, we're friends. So like we talked about, there's confetti on the floor. We photographed something today together that is so wonderful. Tell me about your book.
Thank you.
Woo.
Well, Empty Nest Blessed, 60 Days to Finding Joy in the Empty Nest is a guide through the empty nest. So the whole idea is to inspire women to have confidence and purpose in this season of life. So I'm going to just come alongside them like a girlfriend, be the cheerleader, be the encourager. We're going to cover everything in the book, and we do, from rediscovering who you are now that the kids are gone, to finding fresh purpose in the empty nest, to building joy, I think, into that new normal that it looks like when you're an empty nester, and then very, very importantly, navigating relationships with adult kids, because it does not happen automatically. It takes intention and purpose and focus to change the way you've been parenting and relating to your kids for that long. So I had a great experience. I had a reader that I gave an early copy to just to say, what do you think? She was 90. And she said, well, I love the book. I learned a lot, and I saw a lot that I needed to work on in the parenting adult kids thing with my adult kids. And it was really instructive to me. So I feel like because it spans all of the empty nest, from even how to prepare for the empty nest, who you are apart from your children, how to adjust to the empty nest, then that section on parenting adult kids is great no matter how long you've been an empty nester. So I wrote it so that it would really be appealing to a wide range of women. If your nest is emptied, this is the book.
It is so great. I absolutely love it. Everything that I have seen inside and how you have laid it out with little sections to write in and put your notes in, and it's really interactive. And I think that's important. I literally told you when we were photographing, I said, I went to a therapist once and I wanted them to give me something to walk away with that I could interject in my everyday life. And this is one of those I feel is so important for, I think, not only just parents that our kids are getting older, even with young ones, like like you said, preparing for what that looks like. And if someone that is 90 years old that read this and is giving their seal of approval, like it is such a great needed item, especially as we're going off. Right now, we're going back to school. And a lot of children have been dropped off at college, and a lot of women are experiencing things that, wait, how do I navigate this? In so many levels, with friends, home, husbands, and this is just a great tool to navigate that. And we're grieving. Or we might be excited.
Well, you know what I found was that grief, what kept interrupting this season of grief, that was so intense right after I dropped the kids off, was these little pops of exhilaration, like, oh, I can do whatever I want. No one's going to ask me where dinner is. I can go to Taco Bell if I want.
Taco Bell.
It's just me. So all of a sudden, these little pops of exhilaration, and I realized this grief was on a parallel track with exhilaration, even just within the first couple of months. And then after about 2 months, the grief really subsides, unless you've taken your bed, and then you might need to find some help. But that's okay, people do. But really, that exhilaration then turned into a really robust exploration and excitement of how to find purpose and really bless others in this new season of life.
What gave you the inspiration to do it? You went for it, and you had said that did you tell me that you thought about it, or is something you didn't think about? What made you write this book?
People have been after me to write a book for many years. Even before I started Empty Nest Blessed, I have no idea. I think it's because I like to talk, and I would just start talking. But I always resisted. I just was like, no. And there was this little prompting from the Lord, I think, that was like, you should need to do this, you need to do this. I thought, that sounds like way too much work. Everybody I've ever known that wrote a book is like, oh, it's the hardest thing I've ever done, which I'm not sure I would agree with that, although it is a big project. But I thought, is this really something I want to take on at this point in my life? And really? And it just all came together with people in my life who said, I'm going to make this happen for you. I'm going to help you make this happen. Connecting me with the right people. That networking is so important. And I think as content creators, we think we're creating content and it's emanating out. We don't think of like people like what you did for me today as we shot photos for the book and we created images and videos and all that fun. That's you pouring into me as a content creator, and that's you making content to bless me. So we just need to be so grateful for those people that are pouring into us. And that's what happened. People got behind me and said, we're going to make this happen. You can do it. We're going to make the time. My assistant came around me. My team came around me. Friends, Precious Steph Wybring of Joy Creative Shop was a huge inspiration. And a book agent that believed in the message and was a new empty nester. So God just dropped these people in, and I couldn't say no anymore. It was just not to be overly dramatic, but it was kind of a Moses moment. I was like, okay, yes, Lord, I will do it. I will do it.
I will do it.
And I had to do it on my terms because I didn't want to do a chapter book. I don't know. It's our attention spans now, I think, but I'll look at a chapter book and I just think, that's just so much. And it's so silly. We've all been reading chapter books our whole life. But I felt like new empty nesters can be so overwhelmed that I wanted to do it in a format where it was 60 days to finding joy. And so it is a short, maybe 400 to 450 word narrative section. Sometimes it's funny stories from my life or tips, advice, and then followed by a very active live it out, how you can really live out what we just talked about. So you can read it and keep going through all the days at one sitting, or you can just read it a little bit at a time. So that's the way I did it, just to not overwhelm, but to bless.
I am so ecstatic about diving into it. I am going to it is going to be a part of my daily routine. And as you know, it takes strength in this industry, and that sweet special word that we use around here, fortitude. And I think I know your answer. I think I'm what is fortitude to you, and what in the industry that we're in, because you're correct, we are on a platform, and I say this all the time. I think when people use the word as creator or an influencer, it often leaves people kind of not really sure. And I think wonderful people like you bring such positivity to this space that we call our work and our passion and our mission. What is that fortitude that drives you to stay in this space that can be a lonely space sometimes?
It can.
Like you were talking about, we put a lot out there, but we don't, and sometimes there's a mixture that comes in.
Yeah.
What's that fortitude to drive you to continue to stay and do your blog, put a book out, and just keep doing the things that you are in such a positive way?
Oh, thank you. It's the mission. It's the mission that I started with, to encourage and bless and serve and inspire. That is still the mission. It looks different because the industry changed around it, but it's still the mission. So for me, fortitude is really that stick-to-itiveness. It's rooted for me in my faith, for sure, because really to work as unto the Lord and to do what He's called me to do. So I truly believe that He's called me. I think He called me to write this book. He gave me the words. There were so many nights I went to bed and I was like, I know I need to handle this one thing. I need to talk about, I don't know, what happens when kids abandon the faith that they were raised in and the heartbreak that caused. How can I do that in 450 words, Lord? I don't know. And I would just go to bed just like praying and thinking, and the next morning I would wake up and I'd be like, I know exactly what to write. And I would know. So He gave it to me. And I think as I see my journey over the past 10 years, He's given me people like you in my life to bless and encourage me, to come alongside me and do for me in creating content what I couldn't do for myself, and share gifts, share their encouragement with me. And so He equips those that He calls, and He's equipped me with others, and just with that firm sense of mission. So I think to just continue to be just to keep my focus on Him, and really that it's about honoring Him and the fortitude in staying faithful. The days I don't feel like it, the days maybe I don't feel well, the days, I don't know, I'm just not about it, I don't want to share anything. It's just that stick-to-itiveness, to be faithful. So to me, fortitude and faithfulness are really synonyms. Being faithful.
He will always come through.
Yeah.
It's not our own understanding.
Yeah.
But I 100% agree. It is, faith is fortitude.
Yeah.
I love how you articulated that so well. And my question to follow up with that is, what would you tell your younger self? I know this is like such a cliche question, but
I think it's great.
I think there was like a trend that is like, I arrived late to the coffee shop, what would I tell her? There was like a trend kind of going on.
Yeah.
What would you tell your younger self of this world? And we talked about age and wisdom earlier in our shoot day today.
Yeah.
What would you tell your younger self to keep going for that fortitude? Or would you be like, don't do it, yes, do it, or don't do Taco Bell, or what would you tell your younger self, or someone else that was younger? I think that's easier, because telling ourselves is one of those things, but what would you tell yourself or someone younger?
Oh, I would tell myself and anyone younger the same thing, and that is, I think, to take courage and just to know the Lord is going to lay out a plan. He has a plan for you and a plan for your life, and He's going to show you things, and you need to pay attention to those little whispers from Him. I'm sad it took me 10 years to say yes to writing a book to Him. And when I did, I just fell on my knees and just cried and said, okay, I'll do it. And I wish I'd said yes earlier. This might be my second or third book. I don't know. But so I think it would be to take courage and really, when those opportunities come, see them as coming from the Lord, or see them as coming from outside yourself. Say yes to those. And if it's scary, that's okay, because that's how we grow. If we just want to stay comfortable, we're just going to stay on this great couch, and we're going to just stay in our pajamas, and it's going to be great and fine, but there's not going to be the growth. There's not going to be the blessing of others. And so the opportunity to honor the Lord, to bless others, and to grow yourself, your trust in Him, your amazement and gratitude at the opportunities he brings your way, the people he brings into your life. And I think I just turned 60, and I didn't think this was 60. And I'm so glad that he showed me.
What a wonderful message that is.
I was so grateful he showed me that 60 is whatever I say it is, Suzy.
Yes, it is. Yes,
and so just keep going, and I will just continue with fortitude and faithfulness, just to keep going, and just with gratitude, and really wanting to just honor him, give him glory, and fulfill what he has me to do, which is just to bless and encourage and hopefully inspire and definitely serve others.
Well, I literally could keep you all day. When we did our first FaceTime, was it like an hour or 2 hours?
It was like an hour and a half. It was a long time.
I just wanted to I was soaking up everything and your joy, and just so excited for your book, and just having the opportunity to watch your journey, and just being within an industry that you're so fantastic at. And it's just been so great to get to know you and watch you grow and share. And I can't thank you enough for being on the Founders and Fortitude. And where can everybody not only follow you on your blog, but purchase your book? Tell us a little bit about where we can follow you, purchase, and all the
So,
great things.
emptynestblessed.com. I'm just embarrassingly easy to find. Empty Nest Blessed on all the social media. And the book, we had to call it Empty Nest Blessed because now I know about SEO.
Yes, you're like, I'm owning this. Yes.
Okay, we're Empty Nest Blessed. And when people meet me, they go, Empty Nest Blessed. And I go, yes, that is my name.
That is my name.
So I was smart enough to copyright that. So
I was going to ask you. My mind in the back was like, I hope she copyrighted.
The businesswoman, yes. And you know what? I want to say that I'm grateful for you because I appreciate your authenticity. You're the same person as we're talking now, even though we're recording this, as you were 2 hours ago when we started shooting photos, and that you were when it was just you and me on the FaceTime talking about your son. And so I think that authenticity is the secret sauce in doing what we do.
I do.
People have a nose to fed out that inauthenticity, and they can find it. And I'm grateful for that about you. So thank you.
Well, thank you. Now you're going to make me cry. Can we just like hug and cry together? We're going to sit in the floor and cry together. I am so grateful for you. You're a blessing to myself, my team, and I can't thank you enough in sharing this. And we're glad you said yes after 10 years. Okay,
yes, and I didn't answer you Amazon.
Oh, yes, Amazon. Yes.
60 days to find joy in the empty nest.
I love it.
It's a happy book.
We're going to purchase ours today. I love it.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. As always, friends, thank you for tuning in, and capture, brand, and engage, and let's do big things. Thank you so much. I literally have chills.
Oh, me too.
Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Founders and Fortitude, Conversations with Audrie Dollins. For details and links from our incredible guests, be sure to check out our show notes. You might even find exclusive discounts and special items we share that aren't even mentioned during the show. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to leave a 5-star review. It truly helps us grow and continue sharing valuable insights with you. You can connect with me daily on Instagram at Audrie Dollins, AudrieDollins, and don't forget to visit my website at audriedollins.com, where you'll find years of blogs packed with tips and insights to help you thrive. As always, capture, brand, and engage, and let's do big things.